What's poppin', y'all? It's your boy Prince Angeles, man. You already know what time it is, man. Today I got a special guest, man. It's my first stream, so y'all bear with me. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna have my guy Dame in the building. We're gonna talk about the industry, things, the changes that's going on in the industry. You feel me? So bear with your boy. We're gonna start shortly. Feel me? Shout out to everybody out there that's doing their thing musically. As you can see, I got the merch. It's not up on the site yet. You know what I mean? It's a Hawthorne shirt. It's where I'm from. Where you from? Oh, I'm going to the wrong way. Where you from? Hawthorne. It says California. You know what I mean? The date that I was, born or whatever. In the back it has, um, you know, different streets or whatever in the city of Hawthorne. So man, make sure y'all check that out when I do drop that. My guy Dame is in the building. What up, bro? Bro, man, how you doing today, bro?
I'm well, man. I'm well. How about yourself, bro?
Oh man, I'm good, man. I'm just, one day at a time with it. You
There it is. There it is.
grinding, getting it in. You feel me?
Hey, man, you over there making some great music with a great message. I'm like really like proud of your evolution, man. I'm really proud of the music that you make, and like that's what we need, man. That's some like substance.
Appreciate
Everything you send me is substance,
appreciate it, bro.
even if it's like a chill song. It's saying something.
Yeah, it's crazy because like I've been conflicted, bro. Like I got bops, I got some West Coast bops. You know what I mean? But I've been kind of conflicted between like the message that's in those bops. You know what I mean? Because I mean, for one thing, it's like we're people, so we feel all kind of ways. You know what I mean? But I've been more conscious about what the type of message that I want to put out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Been trying to figure out how to construct everything. You feel me? But I appreciate your support, bro. You already know.
No, no, absolutely, man. Like I said, I love the fact that I get a peek into like your process and just hearing where you're going. And in regards to you having bops, bro, drop them bops too. You're a full person. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
it's all a part of you. Like long as it's really a part of you, drop all them joints, man. You know, like uh Kendrick gave us, before Not Like Us, he gave us all them introspective records, Meet the Grounds and all that.
that's true.
And then even on the video, looking for the broccoli, that's a bop. You know what I mean?
That's facts.
Yeah,
That's
so no,
facts.
I don't think you should hide any part of your art. You know what I mean? Especially when you in the zone that you in now. When you in that zone that you in now, man, you let the people have it, man. Let the people get to know all of you. Let the people get to know you.
So I'm overthinking. I'm doing
Yeah,
me.
yeah, you thinking, man. Like let you in the zone. Let people get to know you because everything, even the party joints, part of that zone.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true. But enough about me, bro. You know what I mean? Let the people know who you are, man. Like what you do. Like you got a long history in this industry. You know what I mean? Family in the industry. You've been doing your thing with Wylde Bunch and everything. You got your own podcast going. Like, let the people know what's up if they don't already know.
yeah, man. Well, thanks for having me on the show. First of all, we go way back. But yeah, I'm Dane from a band called the Wyld Bunch. That's kind of been the start of my career and what I'm doing. But I'm also like a Grammy nominated producer. I worked with everybody from Miguel, the Redman, Yolanda Adams,
Yeah,
Gladys Knight. You know what I mean? Like I got to do some really great things in the business. I've been blessed to have some longevity and still, be doing what I do. And then now I'm moving more into, I guess, the unk stage, the OG stage, more or
Uncle.
less. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to lend my expertise to people and lend my ear and lend my knowledge that I have. And somehow I moved into like the political space, but I felt like there was a void
Yeah,
for black men getting information in a political space, or even black men being talked to in a political space. To be honest, I don't feel like there's nobody who really reach out in Republican or Democratic Party who speak to us directly. So a lot
fact.
of times I feel like I have to go out and seek the information, see what's really going on both sides for us, and then disseminating that information, to my guys. I'm actually in the middle, this is a quick announcement. Nobody know this yet, but I'm in the middle of starting my Black Civic Power Coalition. And the Black Civic Power Coalition is basically like, I'm going to make a website to address all of the issues that Black men feel are important in regards to voting, in regards to community, in regards to what we feel we need for things to go to another level. It's funny. I was like, they say we one of the smallest voting blocks, but every time it looked like a Democrat about to lose, they start looking at us, Black men. What Black men doing? What Black men gonna do?
Right.
So that made me feel like, I was like, oh, we must have more power than we think. We must have more power than we think. So because of that, that's why I want to start this coalition and just start getting the brothers involved so we can all start talking, having conversations. So now I can take those conversations to our civic leaders and say, look, the Black Civic Power Coalition says this is what Black men need if y'all want us to vote for y'all. This is what Black men are looking for, because they think we only care about criminal justice reform. And I as much as I care about criminal justice reform, we ain't all criminals.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we care about other things. Some Black men, we not a monolith. Some Black men care about the border. Some Black men care about the economy. Right. Some Black men care about, even women's reproductive rights. Like, we care about a bevy of things. And I think we need to raise our voice more to let people know that, so they're not guessing what we need and guessing what we want. We could tell them what we need and tell them what we want.
And that's powerful, bro. That's I commend you on that, bro. Like, real talk, because that's something that we need. You know what I mean? We need to be heard. We need an outlet. We need a way to be heard. You know what I mean? And whatever I can do to support that, I want to be a part of it. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean?
I was going to talk to you about it anyway, but I'll definitely be talking to you because, like I said, Black Civic Power Coalition, we're going to try to do some powerful stuff for the brothers in the community, not only just political stuff, but even like mentorship and just trying to look out for more of the kids in our community who getting lost. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff that we can do. And as musicians, so many people look up to us and what we do, or so many young kids want to do what we do. We kind of have a special place in the neighborhood, musicians and athletes. They'll listen to us.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this. What do you think about like candidates going to artists and just like hip hop and other genres of music to kind of get their message across? Do you think that it's an effective way to get that message off, or is it just kind of like something candidates are using to kind of get a vote?
Well, I think it's both, right? I think you got to use it to get a vote, and I think sometimes we get caught up because I heard so many people using the word pander wrong this election season, election cycle, right? Like, there's pandering, which is when you're doing something that's not real, that's not you, to try to get a vote, right? But then there's like, if you listen to Kamala Harris, she talks about how Tupac was her favorite rapper, so she kind of comes from hip hop, right? Yeah. So when she goes to a hip hop artist to say, hey, I need you to help me get this point across. And then same thing with Trump. Trump is a wrestling fan. He used to be on WrestleMania. So when he goes and does a conversation with the Undertaker, I don't feel like that's pandering. I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I don't mean to cut you off, but I used to watch wrestling, bro, and it was just funny when you said the Undertaker, because I just thought about the imagery of what the Undertaker is. Not
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Hey, everything we see in this election now feel like a fever dream. But like I was telling somebody, I said, think about it. If one of the lowest engaged demographics is like the 18 to 30, why wouldn't you try to get like Meg Thee Stallion or Offset or Cardi B to go try to talk to them? Because that's who they listen to, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so you try to meet them where they at. Like, and I think you would feel like it was weird if we sent Barack Obama to talk to the 18 to 30 demographic. They don't care about Barack Obama.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
It's actually the hit the artist that makes them appealing to that age demographic.
Well, you think about it. If we was kids, bro, like let's take ourselves, because this is what I try to do. I try to put myself in those positions when people ask these questions, right? If when we was like 17, 18, just getting the vote, and then De La Soul was like, yo, vote for Bill Clinton, how big that shit would have been back then?
Yeah, real talk.
You know what I'm saying? NWA would have been like, look, we rocking with blah, blah, blah. How big would that have been for that voting block at that time for us? We would have listened. We would have cared.
That's true. I remember like being young, like, because I was a big Ice Cube fan, Tupac fan, you know what I mean, like that. And I never cared about politics until I heard, one of my favorite artists speak on it. Then it was like, that's cool too. I didn't know that was cool. You
Yeah,
know, I thought that was just for like older people and like, like we were pretty much
exactly.
irrelevant in that process. But now that I'm older, I'm like, damn, like, like it would have been cool to have more of that representation when I was, coming up. You
Yeah,
feel me?
absolutely. Because like you said, we would have probably been engaged earlier.
Yeah.
And then what I'm finding is a lot of black men aged 35 to like 50. I feel like they just getting engaged, but they kind of getting engaged in a different way,
Yeah.
right? Than they would have if they would have been like me. I'm lucky I kind of have been in it. I kind of been paying attention. I tell people all the time, I say it's easy for me to see things a certain way because I'm a political nut. Like I
Yeah.
watch everything on both sides. I'll watch, hard as it is, I'll watch a whole Trump rally because I want to hear what he actually has to say. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when I'm talking to people, even if it's a Trump supporter, I want to be informed on not just what Kamala is saying or the Democrats. I want to be informed on what the Republicans are saying. So
Right.
I'll watch CNN. When I'm at the gym, Fox News is on when I'm in the gym. So I'm like, I'm peeping Fox News when I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's like an hour and a half of some Fox News. So I get to see everybody's worldview. And I think the hardest thing is all of us are in silos where it's like we only talk to people we agree with. We only
Mm,
have conversations with people we agree with. Then
facts.
when somebody disagree with us, we want to kick them off the hood. Like, oh, I'm blocking you. You know what I'm saying?
I went through that, you know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
mean, I did too. Look, we got to mature. You know what I'm saying? I said, and I said, you know what? I need to learn a different approach if I want to get my message across. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I had to, and then me and you had this conversation privately, but I had to learn to take my ego out of it because some nigga make you feel wrong on Facebook. You want to start flipping tables.
people start liking they comment. You like,
Yeah,
dang, like that's how y'all feel? Like
right. You feel like you're getting jumped on, like a virtual jumping.
facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? Let me try to tweak my approach so people won't feel like I'm trying to show them up or show them that like I'm smarter than you because I don't want it to feel like that. So, I'll be like, you know what? Let me just tap in with your inbox if you're okay with that and we can talk there. And
Man,
I
I
found,
appreciate that too.
yeah, and I found that those conversations have went way better than when I tried to have the conversations like on a public forum because that way, if we had a conversation and I changed their mind, they can go back and correct it themselves. So it don't look like it's me trying to correct a grown man or woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know what? Let me just try to talk to you in the inbox or phone call, talk to you one-on-one. And it's so funny, man, because people like call me like, yo, such and such, like if it's mutual friends or something, they be like, yo, such and such is saying all this wrong information. You need to talk to them. I'm like, what? But
I
I'm
mean,
like,
you're a leader, bro.
yeah,
Accept it.
it's kind of crazy, man. Because I was like, well, why don't you talk to him? Like, nah, you know how to say it. You know, you know what all that stuff mean.
I'm
You know,
just out. So
you say what?
let me ask you a question, bro. I seen a clip, and I'm sure you probably seen this clip too, and it was about Trump. I think it was Good Morning America. It was one of those morning shows, and they talked about funding schools and things like that, and he wanted like the states to be independent and like kind of control what's going on with the schooling and stuff like that. And then he was asked a question about, and I may say this wrong, but he was asked a question about, I guess like African American studies and slavery and things like that being part of the curriculum.
Yeah,
And his comment was, well, we won't send them money or
yeah,
something.
yeah, straight up.
How you feel about that, bro? That really got me like, see,
Look,
like that. He's
he
starting to really show.
he's saying the quiet parts loud, bro. He's
Yeah,
he's he's really saying the quiet parts loud. He wants to just to give you like the whole context because this is exactly what you're talking about, Prince. He wants to end the Department of Education. He doesn't want there to be a Department of Education, period. And he wants to appoint people in the states that are loyal to him, that won't teach Black history, that won't teach African American studies, that won't teach slavery. If you read certain books, you won't get funding. This is what, like how everybody like, oh, he said he not down with Project 2025. That what you just said is literally from Project 2025.
right.
Like him talking about ending the department and not funding schools that teach actual American history because that's what they want to whitewash American history. And they like, because I know they said something. I seen one panel with some Trump guys who was like, we don't need to be making our kids feel guilty about what our forefathers did. Like what? Like slavery happened. It's a real thing. Like, you can't just, because they was trying to change it to, I want to get this right. They wanted to try to change it from slavery to like manual labor or something.
Ah,
in the future coming history books. Yeah. So in it's stuff like that I'm like, look, I'm almost like I can't really care about what crazy stuff y'all say about Kamala when this man is literally saying stuff
right.
like this out loud about us.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get exactly what we deserve if we keep believing the misinformation. Because he's saying it ain't like he's not telling us what he on.
Yeah.
He
It's
telling
right
us,
in our face. It's right
yeah,
in
he
our
told us exactly what he's on. Like, and I told people, I said, when he's talking about Haitians, which are black immigrants,
right.
think about it, very
Mm,
specific.
yep.
And he talks about them in a way he don't talk about no other immigrants. He ain't never said nobody was eating cats and dogs and
Right.
pets, like dehumanizing the black immigrants. And these, out of all the immigrants he's talking about, these are the only ones that are actual legal immigrants.
Hmm.
The Haitians are legal immigrants. They here legally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't say, "Oh, I'm for immigration," and if you do it the right, they did it the right way, and he's still dehumanizing them. So it's not about legal or illegal. It's just other. Like, you ain't white, you ain't right.
Exactly. So what do you think he feels about us?
Who's coming next?
The
Look,
color in general.
that's what I'm saying. He went to the brown people, the Asians. He now got to the Haitians. Who you think he coming for next? The Black Americans.
Mm,
We gotta really pay attention. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And it's not to, I'm not trying to be an alarmist, but it's real, bro. Like you said, he's like, literally, he knows he can't lose any ground because the people that's gonna vote for him gonna vote for him no matter what.
Yeah.
So he like, I can say all the wild stuff I want. So yeah, if y'all cheat that black stuff, we ain't sending no money.
Yeah,
But the
man.
crazy thing is that clip don't go viral. That's not the clip that goes viral with black folks.
Right. That's crazy because I mean, since the last time we talked, bro, like I've been learning a lot. I've been seeing a lot, you know what I mean? And I changed my tone a lot. You feel me on based on just the information that I've been receiving. It's like one thing that I've been noticing is like the distraction levels are just so crazy. You know what I mean? Like I rarely see on my timelines on Twitter and things like that things talking about the like election based things. It's about Diddy. It's about Drake. Posted a meme
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
you know what I mean. All
Something
things
ain't got nothing to do with
about
nothing.
nothing to do with nothing, bro. And it's like I'm kind of afraid to. I'm kind of afraid of where this is going, bro, because there's people that's not even looking for it. They don't care. But let me ask you, bro, like what do you think, like how you feeling about this election, bro? Like what's your prediction?
I think she's gonna pull it off in a squeaker.
Okay.
Um, I think her campaign has done something that I don't think Democrats have done in a long time, and that's good messaging. Like, I'm gonna say this no matter what. I'm gonna keep saying this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Damn what Trump talking about. This is what I'm doing. And I
Yeah.
think they finally hitting back at the Republicans. They like Democrats just be taking hits. Republicans be saying this and saying that, and Democrats be like, oh, we can't respond to that. I think she finally been responding. Like, yo, that nigga's a fascist. Like, we gotta say it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, thank
Yeah.
you. Like, because now it's gonna become a more public topic because she's responding, not because he's saying it, but because she's finally responding. Because now people are talking about a response, like, oh, she called Trump a fascist, even though in every single speech he called her a fascist and a Marxist. Don't
Right.
say nothing about it on the news. Every single speech. But the moment she says it, they're like, oh. But I'm like, good. That's what the Democrats need to stop being punks, man. Democrats need to stop just letting them punk. It's like you let somebody dope fiend you over and over again. You're like, I'm trying to keep trying to do my work.
Right.
You're in school,
Yeah.
like I'm trying to get my work done. Like, no, I mean, at some point you got to turn on and fire them and still get your work done.
That's
But I think she's doing the right things, like going to the swing states, like the things that Hillary took for granted, because they kept telling Hillary, like, you need to go back to them swing states. She's like, I got it. Where she lose at? Wisconsin.
right.
So, you know what I mean? So I feel like she's putting money into the right places. She keeps going back, and she's everywhere every day.
What I appreciate about her is like she's been going to black platforms. You know what I mean? And what that's doing for like that's helping her campaign, but that's also helping the credibility of those platforms. We need like more black platforms to speak to us. You know that these platforms
Yes.
that speak our language, and I think that's really really important. Like, what's your take on that?
I think it's super dope, and I'm glad you brought that up too, because I feel like not only does it legitimize her as a candidate with black folks, it also legitimizes those platforms, because now you think like she did the town hall, for example, with Charlemagne, right?
Right.
And she had real black regular black dudes. It wasn't like the buttoned up. She had like niggas on there with
Yeah,
Detroit hats, like saying
bro.
"What up, though?" You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? But
bro.
they asking real questions, and I'm like, oh, this is dope. But not only is it dope because now, guess who's pulling clips of this? CNN is playing clips of this now. CNN is playing clips of Roland Martin's show on national TV when he owns his own network, right? So that's
Right.
going to help his network and give his platform some legitimacy. All these, almost every time, like she's going to do the Ricky Smiley show, everything that I've seen her on, even the Call Her Daddy podcast with the white girl,
Yeah.
that starts get clipped on national TV, so it legitimizes those places and those spaces. So now the people be like, okay, I can listen to that. I can go to that. And that's something I feel like I can trust. Because, you know, people already trust the Breakfast Club. So if she goes on there, you like, there's a level of journalistic trust you kind of have there already. So when
Yeah,
she's
you may not listen to CNN, but you're gonna listen to your favorite podcast. They may have her, you know. And I also notice it's been killing the narrative. You know, I
yeah.
don't hear too much more of that. Oh, she not black talk. You know what I mean? Which should have never been important in the first place.
Well, the funny thing is, even my thing is, Trump ain't black. It's like,
Right.
why y'all holding her to this standard that y'all not holding this other dude to? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Why is it like, why is she taking the AP exam and he's taking the elementary school exam?
Right.
Like, why the things y'all asking her? Like, I ain't voting for her. She ain't giving us reparations. Trump ain't said not one damn thing about reparations. So you gonna vote for Trump who ain't said a damn thing about reparations, but because well, she's supposed to be black, so she's supposed to give us reparations. I'm like, oh, so it's like a totally different standard. But like you said, I feel like the gap of that is narrowing because more people who get to hear her story get to hear the real statistics, get to hear her actually speak. Because for Trump, for a while, Trump was just getting away with saying she dumb, she dumb, she dumb. So then you start hearing black dudes repeating that. Yeah, she dumb, she dumb. But then when you start to hear her speak, like, she not dumb, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You can't pass the bar and be dumb. You can't be the attorney general of California, biggest state per capita when it comes to economics, and be dumb. Move
Right.
on to senator, run all, like, be the vice president. Like, come on, bro. Like, don't minimize her. Again, to me, and this is my personal problem, you know, outside of politics, I'm like, don't diminish this black woman in the name of a white man. That's the
Right.
craziest thing to me.
That's how I felt. I felt the same way, bro. Even if like early on I was kind of like, man, I don't know about Kamala, or I don't know, you know what I mean? I still wasn't accepting black people like bash her. You know what I mean? Because
Because
at
and think about it,
the
and it extended even to black people starting to bash the Haitians. I mean, they do be eating cats.
right.
Like, come on, y'all. Like,
Come on.
like
Right.
y'all carrying out xenophobia and racism on behalf of a racist white man.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, look at that. Look at what he got y'all doing, man. Like, it's scary because it's a cult of personality. You know what I'm saying? And I I've done my show, bro, and I'm not making this up. I've talked to dudes, and if y'all go back and watch some of my shows when I had a couple of black Trump supporters, they said all this about policy and da da da. But at the end of it, they just literally said, "I just don't think a woman should be president." So that's what a lot of it is really rooted in, and they
Yeah.
don't want to say that, so they hide behind immigration. Like, y'all niggas ain't never cared about no immigration. I ain't heard you say not one thing about but now it's like, oh, the border. She's supposed to take care of the border or the economics. And then we talk, and I'm like, giving them the actual numbers, the actual facts. Like, you know, Trump inherited Barack Obama's economy and it was amazing. And
Yeah.
then by the time he got out, it was terrible. Like, these are facts. So I give them the facts and all the stuff. And once they can't fight the logic no more, because I'm giving them too much truth, they're like, all right, well, say that, you know, I just don't think a woman should be president. Like, there you go. Because that's
There,
what I knew it was about anyway. I just wanted to get to it.
which is a whole nother, you know what I mean? Like,
Bro, that's a whole nother mind F. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, and I had one dude on the call and I said, you don't think a black woman should run? No, I just don't. I'm old fashioned like that. I just think a man should be president. I think a man should run things. I feel like a black woman will mess it up. I'm like, we have 46 white dudes mess it up already. What are you talking about? It's
Right.
like all the terrible stuff that happened in America, a black woman ain't ran it not one time. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then I said, but even more than that, I said, let's talk about this. I said, it was like 5 of us. I said, how many of y'all had a big mama? Everybody raised their hand.
Right.
I said, so why y'all talking like white men? Black
Mm,
men come from a matriarchal society. Our
yeah.
grandmamas ran the household. Our grandmamas ran the family. Our
Right.
granddaddies worked, bought the money home. Our granddaddies was the breadwinners, and they was respected in the house. But when it came down to what the family was gonna do, how we was gonna move, we follow Big Mama.
That's true.
I
That's
said,
true.
so
Yeah.
don't act like.
Who kept the family structure together?
Big Mama kept the family structure together. Big Mama decided where holidays was. Big Mama said who's gonna cook, who gonna. Big Mama took all the kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Big Mama had all the kids the weekend, all the cousins, all 6 of us is over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Real
why are
talk.
y'all talking like white men who come from a patriarchal society where women ain't valued in the same way? I would like
Mm.
our women in our society, especially coming from the South. Like if you got family from Florida, Mississippi, you know, if we got ours is matriarchal, bro. It's the women run it, and the women are the voice of the family. The women are the voice of the household. So we can't start acting like them because that ain't what we come from, bro. We don't come from diminishing our women. That's not like I know dudes do it, but that's not what we born of.
Yeah.
That's not what we come from. Big Mama had the respect, like period.
Real
Big
talk.
Mama was the law,
Yeah.
and then
It's
that trickled down to our mama.
crazy, bro. Since I've been entering this content space, I've been learning how gullible people are. And I never really seen it until I actually started to enter this space. And I'm just kind of like, damn, bro, like you could just say whatever and people won't research it as long as you sound convicting in your message and what you saying and you well with your words, you know what I mean? People just gonna follow it. You feel me? Like I was posting I went on my whole Jaguar Wright like kind of thing because um she may be truthful in some of the things that she says as it pertains to the industry just in general overall. I don't agree with like how she attacks people personally. Like
Well,
she just
she get a lot of the details wrong. Like me and you, like I'm sure you watch some stuff like me, and I'm like, I know the situation she's talking about. I know the
right,
people involved, and she's lying straight up.
right, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a couple times I'm like, I was there for that. That's
Yeah,
not how it happened. That's not, you know what I mean? But like you said, entering this content space, it goes unchecked because just like me and you recording this now, for the next 30 minutes, me and you can just lie. Me and you can just
right,
lie
like
and you can upload this shit right to YouTube and unchecked. Like we can literally just start saying the wildest and say it with a straight face and with conviction and speak very fast. And people be like, oh, well, these niggas are smart. They must they
gotta be
know
true.
it gotta be true. So that's why one, we have to be careful with our platforms. And like that's what I told you, right? I'm like,
Yup,
one, we have
yup.
to be very careful with our platforms. And two, somebody said this, and this was very interesting. They said, we've been programmed to believe white men in suits were telling the truth since we was little kids.
Fat.
Because when you watch the news, a white man with a suit, we never questioned what Tom Brokaw said. We
Damn.
never questioned what they said from the news when we were like, so we were programmed to believe white men in suits. So now when you watch Fox News and they white men in suits and they just lying, you gonna believe it. Most people are gonna believe it.
Because the news said it.
Because the
That's
news said, because what we used to say when we was in school, I think it was on the news. That was the end all be all. like,
facts.
like that's that,
Wow.
it was on the news. But now we are the news.
Yeah.
And
I
you got
never
to think
thought about
about them. Yeah, we are the news, bro. And think about the amount of people who get their news from memes.
that. Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, think about the amount of people who get their news from Instagram.
Yeah.
That's literally unchecked, unverified information and memes. And people will repost something. They'll like look at it. Oh, I agree with this. Boom, repost.
Yeah.
Now it's spread without, because like I said, it's the Wild Wild West out here. Information is going unchecked. So that's why I'm like, we got to be very careful with our platforms.
Definitely.
Because like I think Jaguar seen like, oh, when I say this, it garners this response. Let me keep doing it. Let me go in. Let me.
Check, bro. We know what that is. It's a check. Like
Yeah.
she said something like a Lori Joe was a real close friend of mine.
Yeah.
I mean, like I got a ton of records on her that I can't
I
even look
remember. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
this day. You feel me? And she got on there. I don't know who she was interviewing with. I don't know if it was Spider Loca or somebody. And she got to talking about Jay-Z was the reason that that situation happened the way that it happened. You know what I mean? And I know
Yeah.
personally like what she was going through at that time. You feel me? So it was just kind of like when I heard that, bro, it was just like, okay, man, enough is enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like I start coming at her, like, every way that I possibly can because like I've argued with people over Jaguar Wright. You know what I mean? She be telling the truth and blah blah blah.
And these people that's supposed to know you,
Right. You feel
they don't
me?
know Jaguar, right? But they supposed to know you, and they
Right.
arguing with you. Like that's the exact same thing that happened to me, Prince. Like she was speaking about Aaliyah's death.
Mm.
Now at that time, I was all enthralled in that. I was around, like I knew before the world knew that she passed. Like I knew before
Yeah.
it went public, right? Like as we're getting the news on the phone, it's getting announced at Summer Jam probably like an hour after we found out.
Yeah.
Like you can't tell nobody, but this is so when she started talking about that and how that happened, I'm like, nope, that's not how it went at all. That's not how it happened. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's like you said, it's the same thing. It's just like, and that's irresponsible, especially when she blamed everything on Jay-Z. Like
Bro.
Jay-Z got Jesus killed. Like she blamed she blamed everything on Jay-Z.
Everything on Jay, bro. I'm like, and the thing is, there's a lot of Jaguar Wrights out there with big, huge platforms, and they just saying whatever, you know what I mean? Because people just love negativity, they love mess, they love drama, they're
Bro,
to it. So it's like, you feel me?
people be sending me stuff like what you think it is. And I'll be like, damn, it's crazy how if you play a video and put the right caption on it, you can make it feel like whatever you want it to feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I seen like one of the guys who's like a Trump supporter hit me and he sent me a clip of Maya Rudolph doing Kamala Harris on Saturday Night Live. And he was like, and the caption was like, Saturday Night Live is no longer backing Kamala Harris. Look how they treating her and da 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 da. And I was like, bro, there's a clip of Kamala talking about how funny this is and how much she like it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I said, and Saturday Night Live does this with every politician. But because you don't like her and they put this caption on it, it worked with his confirmation bias. And he's like, oh, I said, yeah, bro. I said, here's a clip of her talking about how funny Maya is and how she thinks she's doing a great job. I'm like, I don't think nobody's taking it that serious. Like,
Yeah.
they're making fun of her. I said, they literally make fun of. I said on this exact same episode, they had Trump on there. Nothing about Trump on this video. You know what I mean? So it's just like the information highway is crazy and it's weird and it's scary.
It's very scary. It makes me wonder about like how we was talking about the news in general before we had a way to tell our own stories and things like that. They were doing it too. You know what I mean? And then it's kind of like, dang, it makes you think like, what really was the truth? Like when we was coming up, you know, and things I was being told to us, what really was the truth? Because we went decades of just being fed, and that's why they call
Yep.
it programming. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Because they continue to, you know,
Yeah.
recycle the same information throughout the whole day, and they brand it in here. You know what I mean? And that makes me want to I'm glad we on this topic because I wanted to talk about like hip hop journalism
Mm.
and like just journalism in music period, like versus what it was back in the day. Like how do you feel about the climate of like hip hop journalism and how they go about reporting things, you know, like your DJ Akademiks, your what your Aiden Ross is, your Kai Sinats, and
I
however
feel
you
like
say.
it's a joke. I feel like it's a joke.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a joke.
I
I feel like
agree.
it's a joke, bro. Like I feel like it's a joke because I come from like the Pump It Up of D Barnes, Kim Osario, and
Yeah,
the people who wrote for the Source, like people who like really took hip hop journalism seriously.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Even like you think like Angie Martinez, like those
Oh,
people, they took hip hop very seriously. They
F.
took
Wilson.
Elliot Wilson, yeah, guys like that. Like they took all that very seriously. And I don't think we have that anymore. You feel me?
I feel you.
Like I don't think we have somebody who's like, I'm gonna do a deep dive and do a 3 day. Cause remember back then, like I'm gonna roll with DMX for 3 days. And
Yeah,
we go get the magazine, and they like, nigga, DMX sat down for the interview part. Then they went to the park with him, and we don't have that no more.
I don't have
Because
it.
now, like when you bring up Akademiks, for example, the journalists want to be the stars more than they want to highlight the stars.
Mm, there it
So,
is.
so if the journalist wants to be the star, how much time is he really going to take in highlighting the star, highlighting what's going? Think about how we would find out like what's going on with Outkast was like a 3-page, 4-page spread about Outkast, right?
Oh,
Now, if you get an interview, they probably ask like 2 questions and they talking about they self or talking about rumors and you know what I mean? Like
mud.
I really feel like it's a joke, bro. Like I feel like we don't, and this is one of the things I talk about in regards to old school gatekeeping. I think when it comes to hip hop, we do need to gatekeep that part.
Yeah. For sure.
We need to gatekeep the part of how we look at our stars, how we cover them, how we write articles about them or interviews, more or less, because it's more podcasts than articles, right? But like the podcasts are supposed to be informational. Like, for example, I love how the Pivot interviews people, because I feel like when I see the Pivot interview people, I feel like I'm learning something about the person, right? I feel like you getting a real, that to me feels like the old school magazine interviews.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Akademiks feels like sensationalism. You know what I mean? To feel like it's more about sensationalism and trying to get a gotcha moment, trying to go viral. Like he's trying to go viral. You could tell, like he's trying to go viral.
I'm glad that you said that, bro. Like, because, and I hate to use Akademiks as just like the poster boy for this, but
He is. He's like the avatar for that. The avatar for hip hop journalists right now at this moment.
Because his coverage of Chicago was kind of like, think about how many lives that was taken, because I don't want to say that solely because of his coverage and how he covered, things that was going on in Chicago and the artists and things like that, but he was putting people on platforms that had real life situations like that they got to return to.
Yeah.
And he's asking them questions about the ops and what you gonna do? What would you do if you seen the op right now? And blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And he's saying names, and now people in the streets are seeing this person and they seeing this person's face, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get him."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what you think he's gonna say in front of all these when the camera's on?
Yeah, you can't look like a punk, so you got to go ham.
Right, exactly. And he's trying to get a check too.
Yeah.
And so then you create this wave of of young people that's like, oh, I got to be like that if I want to get on this platform to be seen. I got to crash out. I got to do all of these things. You know what I mean?
Crash out.
You feel me? Like, how you feel about that, bro? Because like, I feel like that type of media is leading like our youth down a crazy path, bro.
It's destructive. It's destructive because, like you said, I just watched a video, and this is crazy, bro. I just watched a 30-minute video 2 days ago about rappers who got killed because of things they said in interviews.
Wow.
30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Think about how many people that is.
Yeah.
30 minutes, and it's like probably maybe 2 minutes spent on each person. And probably like 70% of these were rappers from Chicago.
Yeah.
Like 70% were like, but like you said, they get on, they crashing out, and like, oh, what about and they asking them specific questions, like you said, like, oh, when I see him and they say the name, it's this and that. I smoke a pack of his family, like he did and I did it. And like, so of course, like you say, these little kids, they feel like, oh, that's what I got to do. I got to crash out to get on. Okay, cool. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give me some guns and give me some chains. I'm about to crash out and make a rap song about me crashing out.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, it starts a destructive cycle, man. And it's sad to me, but it's also why, and it's also why I appreciate what you're doing musically, because I feel like we need a counterbalance to that.
Yeah.
There's no balance. Like I told people, I said, look, there always was an NWA, but for every NWA, there was a De La Soul.
Yeah.
For every Ice Cube, there was a Common.
Right.
We're not getting that balance no more. We don't get that balance of like crashing out versus consciousness. We don't get that, because I think that's what kind of made us well-rounded as artists, one, and even you think about as hip-hop heads, well-rounded as people.
Yeah.
Because we had kind of like a bigger view of the world through music. Nas gave us New York. Outkast gave us the South. Cube and they gave us the West Coast. You know what I mean? So we kind of had a worldview. Twister gave us the Midwest. We got a worldview through their eyes and through what they were saying through their music. And again, it wasn't all the same, because right now I feel like everybody is saying, you can't tell if a nigga's from New York, Chicago, LA.
Oh, the production, the lingo, like you got, like I said, ops.
Yeah,
ops is not a West Coast word.
No,
we say enemies and things like that. So
exactly.
But now everybody using the same lingo and all.
Dude, you know how long it took me to realize A$AP Rocky was from New York? I was like, that nigga ain't from Atlanta. That's not a New York dude. The way he talked, the way he rapped, like he moved like an Atlanta dude. You know what I'm saying? Like
even exactly when he came out, that first record.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but the first record didn't even sound like a New York record. You know,
No.
and I understand why that was, because at the time it was all South, 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 South. The
Yeah.
West Coast and the East Coast was struggling when it came to music. You know what I mean? So,
So now hip hop is getting more homogenized, right?
right,
So, like you said, you got dudes in California talking about the ops, and you got dudes in Chicago saying cuz and blood. You know what I mean? It's just like this weird mishmash of cultures. But like I said, I don't mind that unless we got like a younger Rhapsody
right,
to counter that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or a younger Kendrick
right.
counter that. Because, you know, even though like Kendrick been around, like I tell people, I was like, Kendrick been around for almost 20 years now.
Real talk.
He not new.
People be acting like he just because he took his break. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Kendrick ain't new. Like Kendrick been around for about 20 years. So that's more of our generation, really,
Yeah,
than you know what I'm saying? Like, cause people be like, oh, y'all generation, like Kendrick is ours, Beyonce is ours,
real talk.
like Rihanna is ours. Like y'all ain't making no brand new superstars. Y'all really not.
Nope.
Y'all
And
making, you know, it's like good dope people around, but like as far as like making new superstars, they not really breaking. I'll be asking people this all the time. Like SZA, I would say SZA is probably like the last black brand new superstar who popped off.
yeah,
You know, who's doing like she's doing stadiums.
you right, bro. You right. Like, as it pertains to hip hop media and the culture, that's something that me and Glasses talk about a lot. You know what I mean? Like, we have talked about, like, as far as like the different coasts and the sounds and the messaging behind it. Like, you know, if everybody's sounding the same, how do we, like, what is your experience on the West Coast? How does that differ from the South? How does that differ from the East Coast, the Midwest, things like that? And he would always tell me, like, man, like, the sound, we got to get back to the sound, and we got to, you know what I mean, figure out new ways to recreate the sound.
He's
You
right.
feel me?
That's what made it special though. It made
Exactly.
it special when you heard the Roger and Zapp sample come on, you knew that was the West. Because you know why? We made music for cars. In LA, we drive around in cars with beat.
Yeah.
So you wonder why that
Autumn.
you wonder why Nas got that boom bap. Go to New York, you're like, oh, they don't ride in cars. They're
Right.
on the radio on the subway. So they sound is made for the subway and for boom boxes.
You preaching, bro. You
You know what I'm saying? So that's why the experience musically was different because it really was born of our environments.
yeah.
Like you said, we needed that bottom because we in the whip, we in the Cadillac.
The party, the dance party, you know what I mean? All of that. Like,
Yeah, ours was different because that's what we need. And there, they like, nah, we out in the streets, we on the stoop. We don't need a lot of bottom because we out here, we ain't inside for house parties. We in the park, we on the stoop. We gotta speak. So they got the boom bap. Down south, they like, yo, we like to shake our booty, so we going nothing but fast 808. And then
mm,
Outkast said, we're gonna take the 808 and we're gonna slow it down.
yeah. I
We gonna-
remember it was a weird time on the West Coast where it was like the West Coast wasn't getting no kind of love. You know what I mean? And like that's when the artists started to make South like music. You know what I mean? Like or
that's that
oh,
that's around that era. I know exactly what you're talking about, bro. That's when Jay-Z may change the game and it sound like a corrupt record.
yep. Bloom, 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 bloom.
Like he was a crip walking. That was a crip walking.
Yeah.
Like now the nigga from LA is on that record, but that's a LA record. But they wasn't playing LA records, but they would play somebody from New York doing an LA record.
Right.
They wouldn't give love to the LA records on the East Coast, but if somebody made a record that sounded, because you know Beanie Siegel had some records that sounded like some West Coast records.
That's true. So, man, I don't want to say that. I was finna kind of, because Pac used to kind of, if you listen to Pac diss records, he used to always talk about them jocking our swag, and you know what I mean. And
Yeah,
that was
but he
one of
was right.
he was definitely right, bro.
Think about it.
And that kind of
How I
started
just
it.
talked about the boom bap and all that. Big Papa could have been a West Coast record.
Mm. Bro, I had this argument with people, bro. When I became older and I listened to the Pac records when he was dissing and he would say those things, I go back and listen to Ready to Die and the double CD.
Going
Like
back to
that.
Cali. Like
You feel me?
literally
Go
going
back to Cali and
yeah.
what they were doing production wise with the leads and all of that came directly from what Dr. Dre was doing.
Yes,
You know what
Dr.
I
Dre,
mean?
Easy Mo B, Shock G. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, yeah. So
Wow.
no, you right. I know you don't want to say because you don't want to be the controversial one,
I
but
mean,
but
hey,
Pac was kind of right when he was saying like y'all took my style. Like he was basically saying like, yo, y'all doing the West Coast, y'all doing us right now.
Puff,
Yeah, Puff was smart.
very smart
You put
business.
these East Coast niggas on these West Coast type beats, these
No,
West Coast type tracks.
no Diddy.
No,
Let's just put that out there. No Diddy. We know we not in support of what he's
no,
dealing with, going through nothing because y'all
no. But
wild
we
out here.
talk about the art. We
Oh,
talking
they
about the
talking
art
about
from
Diddy.
them.
They talking about Diddy. Oh, they must be. No, we're not.
No,
Yeah,
we talking about the art from that time. We
right.
talking about what is it like historically it still happened. You know what I mean?
Bro, let's dive into what's happening in the music industry now, bro, with like
Yeah, man.
execs being fired. That Lucian Grainge with hiring his son over at Atlantic. He's over at CEO over at Atlantic. And how they kind of like based on all the smaller companies that Universal owns, they kind of pretty much run a third of the business now. You know what I mean? And like what you think about that and how that will affect like artists going forward. You know what I mean?
Well, it's scary.
Definitely.
It's scary. It's scary that basically two people run everything in the music business. And if you can't get it off through those two people, you're probably not gonna get it off. If
What
you
you
ain't independent. If you ain't independent. You know what I
right,
mean?
right. What you think about like, man, that's something that kind of got me. Like when you think about like the firings, like some of these people who who's been in these positions forever, right? And a lot of these people understand our culture and
Yeah.
what we bring to the culture. Now that's no longer there. You know what I mean? Like
Well, I could tell
that's
you
scary to me.
I tell you from my personal experience right now, what I'm dealing with right now. We were talking about talking to a label for our new album. We probably talked about social media followers, engagement for about an hour. We talked about the music for 10 minutes.
Damn.
Feel me?
Yeah. Wow.
That's like a microcosm of where it's at, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't about the music. And I'm like showing them videos. Like, we literally got 200 people at all our shows. Like, all our shows, somebody, like, we always got people at our shows
Yeah.
right now, even without a record out, right now.
Yeah.
They didn't even comprehend like real life interaction. Like, we actually got a real life following. Like, we don't have virtual following. We got a real life following. They're like, yeah,
Right.
but you need to get
Real
your
physical people. Like
real physical people who actually spend money to see us, but
right.
they couldn't compute. They're like, no, but why you don't have them followers on your Instagram? I'm like, because they don't need to be on Instagram to see us. They come see us in real life.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's just to give you a microcosm of what the business is. It's more, the business is more data than music, man. And to your point about firing execs, they firing all the music people. They
Yeah.
firing all
The
the
real
people
music.
here, music people.
Yeah.
Me and you know what that means, right? Music people are the ones who like, this person probably ain't got a following in the world, don't nobody know them, but they hear a song, they're like, that's something. We can build that. They getting rid of those people. They
That's
getting rid of the people with the ear that could build something, and
right.
bringing in young cats who just like, oh, let's see what they social media look like. Oh, we can't sign them. They ain't popping. That's what the business is turning into.
So you think that affects the overall quality of the
100%.
material?
It affects the overall quality, but also it's going to benefit us, artists like me and you. It's going to benefit us because people are going to want to go back to music. People are fiending for music, bro. And I'll tell you how I know it.
Hmm.
All the shows that come around to the Forum, to Into It Now, to YouTube Theater, what is most of it that we see and that we see people going to? If you go through your Instagram stories, what do you see? What shows do you see people going to?
The more intimate, real, like, the
Yo,
personal. The
They
real
gonna see Jodeci. They say, oh shit, Jodeci.
yeah,
They going to see Usher. They going to see stuff
the
that's
older acts.
musical and that make you feel something.
Mm, dang, you got a point.
Like these old acts get to come back out now. They're like, oh, nobody filling this void. We get to go fill that space. Tank ain't never toured like this.
Hmm.
And Tank is out there. Like I seen Tank come through with him in New Edition. Then Tank comes back repackaged with SWV.
Yeah.
And Tank, you know what I mean? Because who else is filling that space? Who else? So women, they always gonna want to hear and go see some good R&B. I don't give a damn what nobody say. That R&B is dead shit. No, you want to get a woman dressed up and take her to a concert, she gonna love it. Period. That's something that don't never change. So if nobody's making that kind of music right now, to where you like, oh, I'm gonna get my lady dressed up and take her to this concert. So what you gonna take her to see? Oh, Jodeci coming to town. All right, I guess I gotta take her to that.
Yeah. And
You know,
that's part of bro of why I was conflicted musically. Because like I did tests where I do drop bops. And, you know, like the bops get like a good response, but like the more personal, soulful, direct, like to the heart type records
yeah,
be where it's at today. You know, and I thank Kendrick for that. I thank the Kendricks, I thank the J. Cole's, you know, artists like that. Mainly Kendrick for what he's done this past year. You know, he's made that type of music, um, I would say popular again. You know what I mean? I don't want to say that it ever went away, you know, because he's always been making music like
yeah,
that. You know
yeah.
what I mean? But to get on a on a level with an artist like Drake and be successful with that type, you know, of approach
Yeah,
says a lot. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I've been noticing like on social media and these platforms that, you know, people are listening for lyrics again. You know what I mean? They're more appreciative of that sound. It's like a void. You know what I mean?
I was just talking about this yesterday, bro. The new Eminem record,
Yeah.
the new LL Cool J record,
Yeah.
the new Busta Rhymes record. They cutting through.
Yeah.
They cutting through. And you're like, why are they cutting through? Because people want some, like, people want substance. People want good music,
Yeah.
period. You know what I mean? And that's why I said, like, oh, I can make music the way I wanted to without fear of like I'm not trying to compete with what's on the radio now. I'm not trying to compete with, like, let's just make some music.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just make some music. And that's what I feel like you doing. You like, you know what? I'm not
Yeah.
gonna have myself stopped by the things that stopped me before, the insecurities of what this gonna mean when I, and so I hear it come through in your music. I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
truth, like the Krishan record, like truth, like just raw. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like so, and I think people want that. I taught band for a few years, and I taught kids,
Dope.
and we would play, we would play a lot of stuff off the radio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when we was on the bus on the way to games, these kids are singing our records at the top of their lungs. These little 15-year-olds are singing Jodeci,
Yeah.
Biggie, Pac. I said, huh? They still want something that touch them, right?
Yeah.
They still want something that moves them, and they feel like they have to go all the way back to our
Mhm.
music, get something that make them feel something.
That tells
That
you everything right there.
tells you everything. Because I talked to a kid. Because I told somebody, I said at one point I felt like, damn, am I just getting old, and that's why I don't really like shit no more? And they were like, nah. You know what I mean? Because you
I
get to a
had that
point where,
moment too. I had
yeah,
that.
you get to a point because I'm like, I usually, even if it was something that I felt like was whack, I could find something in it, be like, I get why people like that.
Yeah.
Just like as an A&R ear. Like I said, but then it was like getting to a point where I'm like, hey, I don't get this shit at all.
Yeah,
But
man.
then I start talking to younger people, they're like, no, like, we listen to it because it's what we have. But you
Yeah,
know,
I think it's starting to show, bro. Like in the Sexy Reds, the Ice Spices, and artists like that. And I don't mean to, you know, shit on their craft or whatever, but it's so thin. We're starting to see them being weeded out as we speak.
well,
It's
and it was been a huge push.
a huge push. Like you can see, like, oh, it's a budget behind this. You know what I mean? But now these artists drop projects and nobody's going to listen to them. Nobody, you know what I mean? So like with all these new like digital companies, that's the new record business and things like that, which we're gonna get into it with the whole Meta and
Yeah,
Universal.
yeah.
We're gonna talk about that too. But with all these digital companies, they're missing that aspect of it. You know what I mean? I think like you're gonna have like artists that come, they're gonna probably like the lifespan of an artist is shorter now. You know what
Shrinking.
I mean? It's shrinking even because
Yeah.
everything is digital. We're gonna get on there, we're gonna post memes, we're gonna do the whole digital thing, we're gonna invest into the page, blase, get the numbers up, you know what I mean? But then what? The music still is the music. At the end of the day, when I get in my car and I start riding to, wherever I gotta go, that's what I'm listening to. Ain't no social media. You know what I mean?
You still got to connect to the music at the end of the day. I don't care how dope the marketing is.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So okay, let's get into the whole the deal with Meta and Universal.
Yeah.
And I gotta let me see. There's something I wanted to read from the actual from Universal Music site. That the deal took place on August 12th. It says Meta and Universal Music Group, the world leader in music-based entertainment, today announced an expanded global multi-year agreement that will further evolve the creative and commercial opportunities for UMG artists and Universal Music Publishing Group, songwriters across Meta, global networks of platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, Horizon, Threads, and so on, WhatsApp, things like that. The new agreement reflects the two companies' shared commitment to protecting human creators and artistry, including ensuring that artists and songwriters are compensated fairly. As a part of their multifaceted partnership, Meta and UMG will continue working together to address, among other things, unauthorized AI generated content that could affect artists and songwriters. That part I understand. But I'm looking for the banana in the tailpipe. You know what I mean?
Are
Because
you
I
ready?
feel like they checkmated us again.
You ready for the banana tailpipe?
Yes, sir.
You sure you ready?
I'm ready, bro.
So this is the thing that I wanted to tell you. That I was like, I can't type this on a post. Like I gotta talk to you so you can understand what it is.
Yeah.
This is where it's headed. This is I got from a source very connected. The reason they said those specific words is because the next iteration of the music business, and this goes back to what you was talking about, how two people basically on the music business,
Mm.
they are going to be basically selling
Mm.
the AI data of any of their artists.
Mm.
So Prince, you want to do a song with Mary J. Blige? You're going to be able to go to this Universal site
I knew it.
and you're going to be able to get an AI verse from them that you can actually release because you paid a licensing fee.
Wow.
So
Wow.
you got a song with Mary J, but Mary J been in the studio with her. It ain't her essence. It's literally the that's the
So
banana in the tailpipe. That's why think about it. That's why that language is so specific right there.
let me ask you this. We saw the Drake and the Kendrick thing happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be good. I don't
We
think it's going to be
saw
good.
we saw Drake make the West Coast
The
two
AI
five
smooth. Yeah,
AI, you know what I mean? And I believe that was the beginning of like they were
that was
testing
a test run. That was a test
the
run.
test one.
That was a
Oh
test
my
run.
god.
Yeah, that was the test run.
Oh my gosh.
They're gonna have like a whole section committed to like features. That way they're gonna make money off because when you sign your label, your record contract, they own your likeness, voice, sound, right? They own all that.
My goodness. So if I'm Mary J. Blige, I don't really have a say so. I can't say no.
Who clears it? Mary J or the label?
Are you serious, bro?
Again, though, that weird stuff is gonna push people back to the real. It really is. It's
Mm.
gonna push people back to the real because as dope as the AI stuff is, because there's great uses for it. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like for example, I was talking to a producer and he was like, oh, I don't like the whole AI thing. I said, well, it's here.
Yeah.
Here. I said, so what we as creatives need to do, like we always have done, we need to figure out how to use it to our advantage. So he was like, how would you do that? I said, well, you just blaze, right? And you sample all these records, you got to pay people for sample. I said, won't you prompt a record and make it sound like the stuff you're gonna sample? And then you sample the record you prompted and put your drums over it like you would if it was an old school sample.
Like BBO Drizzy.
There
Kind of
you
like
go. Yeah,
Metro did.
yeah.
You know what's wild, bro? Maybe a year ago, I started hearing like hella AI songs just released on YouTube. It'll be like old school soul versions of like
Not
in the
like us,
yeah, not like
1969.
50 in the club and you know what I mean, stuff like that. And I'm kind of like, what is this? Like, and it was kind of they were dope. Some of them was dope and comical at the same time. Then that took me back to like artists were selling their catalogs maybe 2, 3 years ago. We saw like, a lot of artists coming for it, Lil Wayne and other artists like selling catalogs, and we all didn't understand what that meant. Like I thought it was about ownership and all of these things, right? And then now we're walking into this deal with Meta and Universal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like that those catalogs that was bought, you know what I mean, can be used and manipulated in those ways to recreate these songs. Like you ever be in like the mall or store or something and you hear like the most gentrified version of like
That weird ass No Diggity they play everywhere.
yeah, bro, like and I remember being somewhere and I was kind of like, what is this, bro? Like this is not, it was like completely something else.
Yep.
But I knew the words and I knew, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's
I
like a
start,
banjo on No Diggity. You like what the?
yeah, bro. I started thinking like, yo, that's gotta be the whole AI thing linked to artists selling their catalogs
Yeah,
to what we're walking into now. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Because you think about it, artists are selling their whole entire catalog for like $500 million.
Yeah.
I mean, I have your whole catalog, but I also have all your recordings, so I can manipulate and make your voice do anything I want it now, and I actually have real recordings to make it sound more authentic. Like I'll give you an example. Like a lot of people, somebody asked me, they said, what's Star Wars gonna do now that James Earl Jones died, and he's been the voice of Darth Vader since 1975 or so, right? Up until he literally I think his last real voiceover before he passed was like 2023 or maybe the beginning of this year, right?
Yeah.
I said, well, a lot of people don't know this. James Earl Jones signed a deal where they paid his family very handsomely, and he went in and did a whole bunch of recordings, plus the recordings that they had already. He can be Darth Vader for eternity now.
For the rest of
Because his family gets paid, his estate gets paid now. So they like it's lucrative for us. So even though he gone, he can still feed his family. It's gonna be something similar with the music.
yeah.
You know what
Wow.
I mean? It's gonna be something similar with the music, but I think where it's gonna get tricky, just like with iTunes and LimeWire and all that. Remember, we always had that era where it's the Wild Wild West,
Yeah.
where we figuring it out.
Yeah.
That's where we at right now. We at that Wild Wild West where we trying to figure it out. Like, how does this work? Because another thing, AI isn't like real. When they generate this stuff, it's not real and new. What it is AI is taken from real things. So it's actually
Right.
copyright infringement every time because it's taking a piece
Of
from
it.
this Motown record, a piece from this Drake song. Like it's really taking stuff from stuff that actually exists.
You
It's
just
not,
track it.
yeah, AI is creating it. It's pulling from real things.
That's crazy because I got a homegirl. I won't say her name, but she made this AI woman on Instagram, right? And she makes bread off this AI woman. Now, mind you, in the description or whatever, it says AI. You know what I mean? And she be having celebrities and all kind of people be hitting those DMs like trying to holler at the AI, bro, sending her money,
It's crazy.
like all kind. I'm like, bro, what is going on?
Think about that. That's the first iteration of a full AI artist.
Remember they tried that
Yeah,
a couple
but it's
years
too
back,
early.
and he
It was
came
too
out
early.
talking about he was imitating black people. We didn't
But it was
feel
a
that.
white dude. Yep. But once they get it right,
Mm,
because they're gonna have the AI artist, They're gonna own the music because they're gonna have all AI music. They don't have to pay no producers. They don't have to pay no royalty. This is the label gonna own and run everything, and not have to pay nobody, right? Then you can go on tour and do the hologram tour with this AI artist. It's coming.
Tupac hologram with the bro. They've been setting us up all this time.
Yeah, yeah, man.
I think, like you said, in some ways, it can be beneficial.
Yeah,
for the creator. My mind goes like all over the place when I start really understanding the AI thing. I was kind of like, like I'm gonna start an AI label. Like I'm gonna
no,
you know
but
what I'm saying? There's an AI song right now that's charting, going crazy.
that's what I'm saying. That's where you should go. That's where your mind should go, though. It sounds crazy when you say it, right? But then you like, damn, I was on to something, because we are always the innovators, no matter what.
Right, right.
We are the innovators, and we push the culture no matter what. So we can't take ourselves out of it and let somebody else push the culture. It's here, it's coming. So how do we benefit out of it? How do we put our stamp on it? How do we monetize this thing before they start putting regulations on it, before they start saying, oh, you can't use this because it's copyright infringement? Like, think about it. Like when hip hop first came out, before there was laws for sampling, you listen to a De La Soul song, it's probably like 20 songs in 20 different samples. And Me, Myself, and I, and they just scratching different records in there. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably a nightmare.
You know what's interesting, bro? That I think that has something to do with this deal, and think the shift that's going on in the industry. I was able to release that Krishan record to all DSPs with no, you know what I mean? And the sample like that I used in that record. I tried it just on some like, let me see what happened, because I'm reading what's going on.
They're not coming for you till you make enough money. Like, by the time they come for you, you'd have made enough money. That's what somebody told me a long time ago.
Spotify posted it.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, Spotify,
the Wild Wild West, bro.
They in bed with Universal as well.
Yeah, but
so like, why are y'all allowing me to you feel me? Like, as before, like I remember a couple years back when I would try to release certain songs with samples,
they would get it immediately. They flag it
immediately block it. It wouldn't even go up on Spotify or none of that.
We in the Wild Wild West.
Just let's put it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's strange to me, bro. Like, what you think that is?
Again, I think it's, let's let people do whatever, and if something catch a hit, we just gonna get paid off of it.
We just gonna snatch the
bag. We snatch the bag. Like, oh, okay. It don't matter right now if he only got 10,000 views, but when he get 10 million, then we'll come knocking.
Wow. I want to talk about that video you sent me.
Yeah.
Boy, I wish I had it right here in front of me. I might have it. You sent it to me. I could play it through the mic.
No, actually, you could probably play it. Let me see. I sent it to you on Facebook, right?
Yeah, right in my messages.
Yeah. Hold on. I got you.
I ain't that advanced with this yet.
I know, I got you.
You feel me? I want to play that.
We're gonna play it. I got it. Hold on, I got you. I got you, player.
For sure.
I got you.
Man. Okay.
Yeah.
So
you just gotta click on it and share it. There you go. There you go. All right.
Has to do with promoting and marketing and distributing music for independent artists.
Start it over.
And at one of the big 3 record labels, he just got laid off, and he kind of gave me the inside scoop of what's going on at these record labels right now. They're switching their entire business model to independent artists. What this means is they no longer have to sign you to make money off of you. They're also focusing on buying up playlisting companies, social media marketing companies, etc. Anything that has to do with promoting and marketing and distributing music for independent artists. Not only do they make money immediately from you just uploading the song and trying to promote it, but they also have all that data that they can use to predict when a song's about to go viral. and they get that data before the artists. Once they predict the song's about to blow up, before it goes viral, they will swoop in and try to offer a 360 deal to the artist. That master recording contract is going to favor the label because you don't know yet that you're about to have a viral song, but they do. They finally found the perfect business model to not only exploit the artists that they have signed to the label, but also all independent artists across the globe. In all honesty, I don't think it's ethical. Share this with an artist so they don't get taken advantage of. I just got off the phone.
Bro, I think that speaks to what you just was telling me about on why they let me release that record. If we own it all,
Why we gotta take it down? It's all
let us see
all
why.
this is ours.
Wow, bro. That's okay. In correlation with the meta deal.
Yeah, because it all works together. It all goes together.
One thing that sticks out to me that it kept saying universal artists, songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Recently we've had like Kendrick and Drake and J. Cole release music only on Instagram, not to DSPs.
Yeah.
I believe Glorilla, when she first released her project, she released it directly to consumer as well. It's on DSPs now, but before, when she first released it, it wasn't on DSPs.
Yeah.
I got a two-part question. What do you think, before I get to those questions, how do you think that affects the independent artists on these platforms as it pertains to trying to, let's say if I'm an independent artist and you got J. Cole right here, and J. Cole is a part of this meta deal, however way, you know what I mean? That mean it only makes business sense for the algorithm to favor the artist that I'm invested in as a business, right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean for the independent artists when they're trying to be seen and they're fighting for, you know, the same visibility? That, and what do you think the next step for an independent artist to combat that should be?
So we got to go back to what we're talking about, right? We're talking about universal and meta.
Right.
Very important to remember. We're talking about those two. So to your point, what it's going to do is it's going to force independent artists. We have to buy ads. We have to pay for ads so the algorithm will even show us to our people before you even show it to other people. We are going to be forced to buy. They're going to make all the money. Because like, yeah, I'm gonna put J. Cole in your algorithm and on your timeline before I put Prince Angeles on it. So what I'm gonna do is you buy some ads though, I'll put you right next to J. Cole and it makes you look like a real big artist. It makes you like a real artist. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to spend money on ads. So that way they're gonna still get their money. They're gonna get their pound of flesh in the end. They're gonna get their money. Even if you want to stay independent, they're gonna find a way to get their money. Because you're talking about universal, but now you're talking about all social media because Meta has Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. Meta has all that. So you kind of can't even get around it, especially if we know the main way to promote is social media and they have like the biggest social media spots outside of fan base. You know what I mean? So you're going to have to pay for those ads.
That's wild, bro. I can't say I've seen this coming, but I knew something was coming.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised that we're here. You know, like what we saw in the movie industry, it's something that we won't see with artists. You know, like they went on strike and they like, nah, we finna fight. You know what I mean? Like
artists don't have that because one, we don't have a union like the movie people do. There's not a union that backs rappers and artists. And then two, they just know if you strike, we'll just get somebody else. Somebody's gonna do it.
Somebody, right? Wow.
Like the actors was like, we all ain't having it.
Yeah, like writers, like no, I would see them out. Like deep signs and all of that.
We ain't having it. Think about the niggas we know trying to get all of them on that page.
Oh man, it ain't happening. It ain't happening.
You have to get the big guys to stop the bag to help the little guys. So Snoop will have to be like, I'm not doing the voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guys, like I was gonna say Diddy, but but you know, he's already
Diddy.
He's already been stopped. But you know what I'm saying? But like all the big guys, even the newer, like Kendrick and all them, those are the ones who have to say, we not doing nothing because that's the only way it'll help the little guys. And I don't think that's gonna happen. And they're not even no fault of their own, just the way the music business is set up overall. You kind of can't stop, because the moment you stop, you deemed irrelevant, even if you stop on your own accord or you stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so
Wow.
it's yeah, it's a whole different apparatus of how the music business works.
You don't think it's weird, like Instagram being the new way to release music?
I
Like
think it's super weird.
that's so weird to me. I
It's
think what's gonna happen in the future, they're gonna reconstruct Instagram. You might have a playlist on your page and
Yep.
you know what I mean, all kind of stuff to where it's more fitting to
Well, they already doing it. Think about it. It's already like MySpace, where you could put songs on your pictures now. Like we just posted, so it's getting there, right? It's getting closer to where like you could put music on everything, on every piece. So I think they just, like you said, it's all a trial run. Like they're just trying to figure out how it's gonna work. But I do think it is one thing, and again, I keep going back to this. It's gonna make people go back to other places because it changes the listening experience for real people who really like audiophiles.
how we consume music.
How we consume music. So you're gonna be like, I don't want to listen to this shit on Instagram and got to keep tapping my phone so the song will keep playing, and you know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back. So I think again, a lot of the stuff that feels like a disadvantage right now, I think is going to be advantage to artists that are going to give an alternative to people.
I feel like this is gonna crash in some years.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna hit a wall. You know what I mean? Because when I look at it, it's like, what is okay? There's still the DSPs, right? If you want us on Instagram, you know, consuming music, the whole point is to keep us on Instagram,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So then what happens to your Spotify's and the Apple Musics and, you know, those type of platforms? Do they, if the major artists like Kendrick and Drake and J. Cole aren't releasing music on these major platforms, then what happens to them? Do they start to then cater more to the independent artists? Or does it, I don't know, do they end up crashing in the long run? You know what I mean?
No, you're right. Like, and you seeing it through to the end.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you seeing the equation all the way through to the end. I think you're seeing it right. And I think that's gonna, again, it's gonna give an opening for the independent artists to take over a space that probably wasn't for them initially.
I'm glad you said that, bro. Because that's what I want to get into next. Remember, I told you like I think I had a solution. And part of that solution that I was thinking about is getting back to the direct consumer way of going about it, going outside. You know what I mean? Booking these intimate shows, touching the fans. You know what I mean? No Diddy, but like flyers. You know,
Hey,
you know
no,
what I mean? That
you're
whole
100% right. Like, this is a conversation I had with my manager. She was like, y'all have figured out how to kind of keep it analog, where people still come to y'all shows, y'all still reach people through text message and email,
right.
email blast, like, because and even buying ads. It's like you're gonna have to do a mixture of all of it.
Yeah.
We actually working on something, and I was gonna call you about this. Like once we had it all settled in, we're gonna start doing something like a little backyard joint, intimate joint.
Fire.
People come through, we'll be the band, we'll get an artist to open with us.
That's fire.
Like, oh, Prince, send your songs, and we'll let you do like 4 songs, and then we're gonna do like maybe a couple, and then we all just gonna have a jam session. We're just gonna be playing music and getting up and just vibing.
I love it. I love it.
You see what I'm saying? Like, because that builds that community, that builds that vibe, that builds that you're gonna start giving people an experience, bro.
Yeah.
People
and outside of this.
No, because because so many people trying to do it on the phone, but when you give them an experience, they don't forget that.
Facts.
And when you get them experience, like, oh, you're gonna get my album for free, just buy this sweatshirt.
Yeah.
So you selling the whole entire experience. Like you come to the show, you get to see Prince with a band, you get to see the band just jamming, and then Prince getting up, just freestyling in an element that you probably don't usually get to be in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now it's my people and your people.
Yeah.
Right. So now it's my people, my people get to see you, and your people get to see me. And now we built this experience out that people, people, like they say, people forget what you say, but they don't forget how you made them feel.
That's right. I think that's the wave moving forward. You know what I mean? Also, like I was having this discussion with someone, and I was talking about like having your own personal website is key today. You know what I mean? And building that email list because if I'm looking at it like this from this standpoint, if I'm on Instagram and I'm posting and my people that follow me aren't seeing it, you know what I mean? Then I need a way to get directly to them. You know what I mean? So
You know how
like
many people tell me,
funnel them back to my website and things like that is a way to go about that. That way I'm like in direct contact. I don't have to worry about an algorithm that's manipulating who sees what and what goes where. You know
you
what I
have
mean?
to control it. Yeah, that's why I said like there's so many times that I'll post, you know, you probably seen I'll post our shows that's coming, post it over and over. And people like, I didn't see it at all. And I follow you and I'm engaged with you and I don't see it. So could
I
you
don't
tell
see posts at all no more. Period on Facebook. You know what
me?
I mean? And we used to be all the
Yeah.
time. You feel me? At one point I was like, man, I wonder what's up with Dame. Like I want to check on you, bro. Like bro ain't posting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, crazy.
So people would text me or inbox me like, look, just hit me on my inbox directly or text me when y'all have a show.
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to what you're saying about touching people directly. One, now they feel like they got a personal invite. They
Yeah.
don't feel like it's just out there, right? They don't feel like, oh, that wasn't for me. They got a
Right.
personal invite and they feel like, oh, damn, he remembered. He remembered to send me a text. He remembered to send me a DM. I'm going to come to the show because of his effort.
Right.
And they also feel like they're personally engaged with the artist, which a lot of people don't get anymore,
Mm.
right? Like, we got to start personally engaging again and building our following that way.
I agree, bro.
That
And
like I said, if you got 200, let's say 250 people in real life
yeah.
who gonna come see you every time, who gonna pay to see you every time, who gonna buy merchandise, that's better than people who just clicking on your shit and not buying nothing, not coming to nothing.
Right.
Like you
That's
can have 2,000
live off
followers.
that. You can
Yeah,
make
you
you can live off
can
that.
literally live off that. Like
Yeah.
250 people that you know, like these 250 people gonna rock with me every single time I come out.
Facts.
Let me feed this 250, like, and that 250 will grow, but like let me feed them first instead of trying to I gotta get to 1,000 followers. I get no. These people that's coming out in real life, let's try to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's real, man. Like I think about like as it pertains to this topic, like what we saw happen to the baby, and like what
Yeah,
we're seeing happen to a lot of other artists. You know what I mean? Like when they want to pull a plug on you, they can pull a plug on you. How you go from I'm getting 250K views on Instagram to 25K or 50K.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? I go from 8-9 million streams to only selling, you know what I mean,
yeah,
16K albums. You
yeah.
feel me? So it's kind of like if you don't get with our program, we can pull that plug. If you don't speak how we want you to speak, if you don't say what we want you to say, we pull that plug on you. Now what? And I
But
feel like if artists like the baby and them who's experienced this would have been in position like, okay, I got my own website, I'm building the email list, I'm funneling all these people from here to here, then that drop off doesn't happen. It's not like their music is bad, you know what I mean,
yeah,
or they're making anything different from what
but they
they
have
that
to
was,
rely on the machine.
boom, there
Yeah,
it
they
is.
rely, but like you said, when we on our way, you can't cut my water off.
Facts.
You can't shut my water off.
You control it.
You, I control it. We
Yeah.
control our records going out. We control our shows. You can't shut our water off. And that's how you kind of got to build your infrastructure for yourself as an artist, where can't nobody shut your water off. And you're gonna have to pay me to stop making money. If Universal want me, you have to pay me to stop making money the way I am. Because then I'm giving you the ability to shut my water off.
Mm. I think that's the landscape across the board. We see it with even with journalism, your Stephen A's and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you see they getting out the building. Everybody's coming out the building.
Mm,
Everybody's
are
coming
you
out
on
the building.
podcasts?
Everybody could think about it. Shay is like after biggest Shay was and Skip Bayless talked to him like that. I'm stepping out the building. I'm building my own.
Building my own.
Stephen A, the biggest contract at ESPN, he's still like, I'm spending more of my time on the Stephen A podcast than I am on TV.
Real talk. And they use
Everybody,
major platforms to promote
Major
They-
platform, exactly. So they stepping out the building and they building their own. Like everybody's basically like, hey, nah, like you're not gonna be able to shut my water off because that's what they see, right? They've seen people like have the ability to come in and shut their water off.
And then you never hear from them again.
No,
I'm on a platform. You
you're
never.
done. You're done because you need them in order to be you. That's why I think it's so important for independent artists. Like, cause I think SZA's still independent, right? Like she's still considered independent.
I believe so.
Yeah. You can't cut SZA water off. She in stadiums now. How you gonna cancel her?
Is she with TDE?
Yeah, TDE. Yeah, she with TDE.
I thought TDE just did a deal with Warner.
They probably did, but I'm saying like at the crux of it.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. TDE does what they want to do.
TDE does, they run theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, like for artists like me and for like you and like whoever is watching, you got to put yourself in a position where they can't shut your water off and where you control it. You got to go to my website to get my music. So I don't have to wait for Instagram to show it to you. I just got to make sure I let you know. I got to get it to you. Right. I got to talk to the people. I got to engage.
There it is.
And if you're not lazy, you can eat.
Yeah.
If you're not lazy, that's why I said like this next thing we're gonna build up with the backyard boogie. It's gonna be a movement.
Yeah, I love that, bro.
It's gonna be a movement because it's gonna be. I want it to be so LA. Like, oh, this is some LA shit. Like it's ours. You know what I mean? Like this is ours. Like you got some of the most LA dudes coming in, rocking their music.
We need it too, bro. The city need it in general, bro.
Because we don't have a scene no more like we used to. Like when me and you was coming up, bro, I can name like we can go hit the Roxy, we can go hit House of Blues, we go hit Billboard Live, we can hit Fay Dodo. Like I can name all the spots that we don't have none of them no more.
Nothing, bro.
We don't have that place where we can just, oh, we gonna get 4 or 5 Temple Bar, we're gonna get 4 or 5 dope artists, we're gonna have a night. Like it should be nice where it'll be us, Miguel, BJ the Chicago Kid, and Bruno Mars for $10.
Man.
Us, Anderson .Paak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? $10. Back then he was Breezy Lovejoy.
You can't beat that. And you can't beat live music at all.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, digital is one thing, but live is like it connects, you know, to the soul differently.
Dude, I had somebody call me from Connecticut who was like, my boy was like, yeah, I was talking to this girl. I told her I know you, and she went like crazy. And he was like, can I call her and let you talk to her? I'm like, yeah. And she like, oh, y'all song y'all put out, nah. Like, this is a song we put out, bro, in like 2005.
Yeah.
And she like, that was my high school jam. If I come to LA, can I please come to a show? She never forgot that way that record made her feel.
Right.
It still resonates that same way. You know what I mean? There's people who like, I seen y'all on that Black Eyed Peas tour. Like people be on on Twitter. Like I was trying to find a Wylde Bunch and I'll find. I'm like, oh, this is us. Woo, woo. Oh, we saw you on the Black Eyed Peas tour back in da-da-da. They still remember it. They still connect to that feeling. So what I want to do is provide a place where we can start connecting people back to that feeling. Where we can start connecting people back to, because really the source of music is the live shit or what you feel.
Yeah, definitely.
Or what you really feel. So taking the records that you've done and we be like, oh, we gonna flip them. And then you come in, do your thing. Like, bro, that you gonna feel good. We gonna feel good. Everybody gonna have some little drinks, some food.
I love that, bro. Let me know, like, cause I even want to do like album releases that way.
Yeah, and then we gonna film it. So now you have content as well. So you know what I'm saying? So like it's like a whole synergy of everything. It's not that we're gonna do the live thing, but we're gonna make sure we have real cameras here to film it. So when you leave here, you not only have had a great crowd, a great experience, now you're going to be able to post it on your page and it's going to look good. It's going to look professional, not just from camera phones.
I'm excited.
You see what I'm saying?
Off top, bro.
So we looking to do that like top of next year. Like we putting it together now, but like that's the plan. We want to put together like just come to the crib and it's going to be Wylde Bunch of friends, man. It's going to be people who I really rock with, because that's also a big thing for me now where I am in my career. I want to rock with people that I really care about. I want to rock with people that I have a real relationship with. So stuff ain't just about business. Right. I've done enough business.
Yeah, I feel that.
Now I want to enjoy what we do, and I know if you come in for it, I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm talking to my boy Johnny Smoke. He come in, I'm Johnny Smoke. We're gonna enjoy that.
Yeah,
People, I'm on. You know, I'm gonna reach out to Glasses. Like Glasses, come through, do it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I want it to be so LA where everybody like, oh, this is what it's about. Like this is connecting.
That way you're giving that same LA experience that's missing. Remember we talked about like when we grew up, you know, in the music, it was like you knew, okay, that's LA music. You know that's South, you know that's East, you know that. Bro, I see this going like globally, bro. Like, you know what I mean? That's awesome, bro.
Yeah,
Full support of it, man. Like I know we've been rocking out for an hour and a half. I was trying to get to, you know, the hour and a half mark, man. So
yeah.
kind of want to cut it. You know what I mean? Like I appreciate you, bro, like just having this conversation and taking the time out with me, man. Like it was a great conversation, man.
Yeah,
But you feel me? Like we always, you know what I mean? We do that. You feel
that's
me?
why I love when we connect in person because we get to have these kind of conversations. You know what I mean? Like I love when we get to hop on these kind of platforms. Like when you came and did mine, I think it was great. You was able to chop a
Great.
whole bunch of clips out of that, and I seen it resonating with your folks. So they were like, oh,
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying? So
Oh, we need to do more, man.
yeah,
Like,
we definitely need to do more, and I'm glad we was able to have this talk. That's why I said I was like, I'm gonna wait. I was like, I just had to tell you what was going on. I said I said you on it, you on the right path. I said I just want to lay out the rest of the path for you and show you what it is and what the next actually is going on, what that next is gonna be. And again, like I said, you can look at it as like oh man, we got to deal with this, or you can look like, oh, we can use it to our advantage to drive people back to us.
yeah.
You know what I mean? We can use it to drive people back to us. And again, like I said, I'm gonna start building things that get us more to a digital, analog world.
Yeah.
Digital world. Like it's gonna be a mixture of the analog and the digital. So that's why you come do live performance for the analog world, but digitally we gonna film it. So now you can use these dope clips with
Yeah.
good sound and live band to put up on your page. You know, and that promote you, that promote us, everybody good. You know what I mean?
That's so fire.
That's where I'm at. That's where we at with it. That's what Wyld Bunch is looking towards. We looking towards like filling voids
Yeah.
because that's where you can grow. Like, oh, nobody's feeding this. Let's feed this area. Because I've seen it happen. And it changes your clientele. Like it changes your clientele. It changes the type of people who follow you. It changes the type of like you go from having people who don't want to pay for nothing to people who like, no, I come out, I drink, I eat, I'm here to have a good time. I'm grown.
That's so true.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, let everybody know, man, where they can find you, what you got, you know, what you got going on, your socials, the podcast, everything. Let them know.
Yeah, man. So check me out on my podcast every Wednesday evening on Facebook, Dame Crawford, Wyld Thoughts, WYLDE, Wyld Thoughts. They hacked my regular Instagram, man. They hacked Dame Wyld and got me banned. So
That's why I've been seeing the dark
yeah, my Dark McGuire. I've been on
yeah,
my Dark McGuire. You know, that was like my solo project joint. But so I'm on Dark McGuire now. So follow me on Dark McGuire on Instagram, and you could yeah, if you give me on Instagram and Facebook, you'll get everything else. So just follow me, and that's where you'll see our shows posted. You'll see Wyld Thoughts, the podcast posted. You'll even see my political stuff with Arc Republic if you're even interested in that. Those are all the things that I do, all the things I'm working on. Wyld Bunch is actually working on the end of our album. We're gonna add like 6 more songs to our album right now. So we're working on a little bit of new music. I'm excited about that. And we're gonna be dropping something top of the year, man. And it's gonna be musical. It's gonna be music. You know, you're gonna know it's a band.
and Wild Thoughts is every Wednesday at 7, right?
Yep. 7:30. Wyld Thoughts.
7:30.
Wednesdays at 7:30. Yeah, Wyld Thoughts. Wednesdays at 7:30 when we talk about everything, right? We talk about
Yeah.
music, we talk about the community, we talk about politics, we talk about trending topics. It's fun. Like we really try to have a good time and also be informative. So yeah, check us out on Wyld Thoughts. We got to get you back on the show too, man.
I'm down, bro. Whenever you say the word, I'm there. You
Yes,
know,
sir. Yes, sir.
again, bro, I appreciate you. You know what I mean?
Anytime. Let's keep this going too, man.
I'm interested in working with you to help build this infrastructure, build this culture back to what it was, you know what I mean, and what it used to be, man. But thanks again for the insight. Very, very good, knowledgeable, you know, insight that you share with everyone. You feel me? So appreciate you, bro.
Always, bro. Appreciate it, man. Much love.
Much love.
All right.